Imagine a world where every rustle in the grass could mean your end, where giant claws and teeth were the law of the land. Our ancestors faced this brutal reality, a daily dance with death that forged the very essence of human survival. We think we understand danger today, don't we? But picture humanity, millions of years ago, stripped bare. Tiny figures against a monstrous canvas of prehistoric predators. How did they endure? How did they not only survive, but thrive in a world that seemed hell-bent on devouring them? This isn't just a history lesson. It's a profound look into the indomitable spirit that lives within each of us. By understanding their struggle, you'll uncover the deep roots of our resilience, the blueprint for overcoming impossible odds, and what it truly means to be human. Imagine the sun-drenched savannas, the dense forests, and the icy plains not as tranquil landscapes, but as kill zones. Our earliest ancestors weren't at the top of the food chain, they were often lunch. Picture yourself, an early hominid, perhaps 4 feet tall, standing before a saber-toothed cat, all muscle and razor-sharp fangs, or a massive cave bear, towering over you, ready to crush your bones. These weren't solitary dangers. Packs of dire wolves, hyena-like creatures of terrifying size, roamed in coordinated hunts. Gigantic predatory birds with wingspans that blotted out the sun watched from above. Every step, every shadow, every sound was a potential death sentence, a constant reminder of their place in a world dominated by raw power. Their senses had to be hyper-alert, their instincts razor-sharp. There was no room for error, no second chances. This was the ultimate proving ground, a crucible where only the most adaptable, the most vigilant, and the most determined could carve out a future. What did our ancestors possess against such overwhelming force? Not claws, not fangs, not speed. Their greatest weapon was something invisible, something evolving right behind their eyes, the human mind. This wasn't about brute strength, it was about brilliant strategy. They learned to observe, to understand patterns, to predict. They saw the lion's hunting grounds, the bear's winter slumber, the migration paths of prey. This wasn't just knowledge, it was intelligence, the ability to process, to plan, to innovate. They began to craft, shaping crude stones into tools, not just for hunting, but for defense, for skinning, for breaking bones to access nutrient-rich marrow. Consider the simple spear, a sharpened stick perhaps tipped with stone. Against a charging mammoth, it seems laughably inadequate. Yet wielded by a coordinated group, backed by cunning and courage, it became a game-changer. It extended their reach, turning a direct confrontation into a tactical engagement, proving that brains would eventually always triumph over brawn. No lone human could survive this ancient world for long. Isolation was an immediate death sentence. The real power lay in numbers, in the unbreakable bonds of early community. They understood this instinctively. A single cry of alarm would instantly galvanize the entire group, a ripple of terror and response spreading through their small band. Imagine a huddle of figures, sticks and stones raised, faces grim, standing shoulder to shoulder against a growling menace. This collective defense wasn't just about physical protection, it was about shared vigilance, about collective memory, about transmitting survival knowledge from elder to youth. Who could scale that tree fastest? Which cave offered the best refuge? Who could track prey? And who could spot danger? They communicated, not just with sounds, but with gestures, with shared glances of understanding and fear. This collective intelligence, this fundamental human need for connection and cooperation, was their shield. It was the birth of true society, forged in the fires of constant threat, proving that together we are always stronger. Of all the incredible innovations, none shaped human destiny quite like fire. It was more than just warmth in the cold, more than a way to cook tough meat, making it digestible and nutrient-rich. Fire was a deterrent, a psychological barrier against the night's horrors. a glowing ember, a crackling flame, could keep even the most fearless predator at bay, their instincts wary of its unpredictable heat and light. Imagine the absolute darkness of a prehistoric night, broken only by the flickering glow of a communal fire. Around it, stories were shared, tools were crafted, and plans were made. It pushed back the shadows, literal and metaphorical, creating a safe zone, a haven where humans could rest, recuperate, and truly be themselves. Fire wasn't just a tool, it was the heart of the home, the epicenter of early human civilization. It also changed their diet fundamentally. Cooked food meant more energy, faster brain development, and less time chewing. This nutritional leap fueled their ingenuity, their social structures, and ultimately their relentless push towards dominance. Fire was the dawn of possibility, the first great step towards mastering their terrifying world. Our ancestors didn't just survive, they redefined what survival meant. They faced down terror, not with brute force, but with a blend of intellect, cooperation, and an unshakable will to live. Each generation learned from the last, adapting, innovating, slowly but surely, turning the tables on a world designed to kill them. They pushed boundaries, explored new territories, and carried the spark of humanity into every corner of the globe. Their legacy isn't just the tools they left behind, or the cave paintings that whisper across millennia. Their legacy is in our very DNA. It's in our capacity for problem solving, our instinct to protect our loved ones, our ability to stare down adversity and find a way through. Every challenge you face today, every obstacle you overcome, is a testament to that ancestral grit, that fierce, unyielding spirit. They laid the groundwork for everything we are, for every comfort, every invention, every complex thought. They show us that true strength isn't about avoiding danger, but about confronting it, learning from it, and emerging stronger. Their story is our story, a testament to the power of the human spirit to not just exist, but to conquer. Our journey through the prehistoric world reveals that early humans evaded deadly predators through a powerful combination: unmatched intellect and ingenuity in crafting tools and strategies, the unbreakable strength of community and cooperation, and the transformative mastery of fire. These were the keys that unlocked their survival, paving the way for everything that followed. What challenges are you facing right now that demand that same ancient human spirit? Share your thoughts below. How do you tap into your inner survivor? And for more incredible stories of human resilience and history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's next. Imagine a world where every sunrise was a gamble, every shadow a potential assassin. This wasn't just life. It was an unrelenting war for survival. Today we're tearing back the veil on an age most can barely comprehend, a time when Earth itself was a brutal, beautiful battlefield. We're going to confront the hidden dangers that stalked prehistoric life and uncover the incredible spirit that refused to be extinguished. It's more than just dinosaurs. It's the raw, defiant pulse of existence. Because what they faced, the sheer audacity of their struggle, holds a mirror to our own resilience. You're not just watching a history lesson. You're about to witness a primal testament to the unconquerable will to live. A story that echoes even in our modern bones. When you picture prehistoric Earth, your mind probably jumps to the colossal predators, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Megalodon. And make no mistake, those jaws were very real threats. But the greatest dangers often came not from a fearsome roar, but from a silent whisper. Picture a lone diplodocus, not brought down by an Allosaurus, but by a relentless drought, its massive body slowly wasting away as water sources vanished beneath a scorching sun. Or a herd of woolly mammoths, strong and formidable, suddenly engulfed by a flash flood, their immense power rendered useless against nature's indifferent fury. Disease, too, was an unseen monster. Without antibiotics, without even the simplest understanding of hygiene, A simple infection from a minor wound could quickly become a death sentence. A bite, a scratch, even a parasitic infestation could spread like wildfire through a vulnerable herd, wiping out entire generations. And then there were the hidden traps, vast, sticky tar pits, quicksands that swallowed giants whole, or icy crevasses masked by fresh snow. These weren't enemies that hunted. They were the unforgiving landscape itself, a constant, indiscriminate executioner. It reminds you how delicate life truly is, even when it's wrapped in scales or armored hide. Forget leisurely meals. In the prehistoric world, every morsel was a victory. Every day, a desperate quest for calories. Picture a small group of early hominids huddled together against a biting wind, their bellies aching. They weren't just searching for roots and berries. They were outsmarting the jungle for every single calorie, competing with creatures far stronger and faster than themselves. A successful hunt meant survival for another few days. A failed one could mean starvation for the entire clan. The constant pressure of finding food drove innovation. It honed instincts, and it forged incredible bonds within groups. And it wasn't just herbivores that faced this pressure. Imagine a pack of Utah raptors, lethal hunters, but still needing to make a kill every single day to sustain their energy. They could go for days without a meal, their hunger sharpening their senses, but also pushing them closer to the edge. The stakes were impossibly high. There was no grocery store, no harvest to rely on. Just the raw, relentless cycle of eat or be eaten, find sustenance or wither away. This wasn't just about being strong. It was about being relentlessly resourceful, about outthinking the environment, and pushing past the limits of what you thought was possible. If daily survival wasn't enough, life millions of years ago also contended with the planet's most violent temper tantrums. Imagine the sky itself falling apart, not in a rain shower, but in a hail of incandescent rock. We're talking about meteor impacts, events so catastrophic they could plunge the entire world into an instant winter, choking out the sun, annihilating ecosystems in a single devastating blow. Think of the Chicxulub impact, an asteroid the size of a mountain striking the Earth with the force of billions of atomic bombs, ending the reign of the dinosaurs. But it wasn't just space rocks. Volcanoes erupted with unimaginable force, spewing ash and lava that buried landscapes for centuries, poisoning the air and blotting out the light. Supervolcanoes, far more powerful than anything we've witnessed in recorded human history, could trigger global climate shifts, creating ice ages or scorching deserts overnight. The very ground beneath their feet could rip open. New mountains could rise, and seas could swallow continents. These weren't gradual changes. They were sudden, brutal resets, testing the absolute limits of life's ability to adapt or perish. It's a humbling reminder that even the mightiest creatures are utterly insignificant in the face of planetary-scale events. Despite this endless gauntlet of dangers, life not only persisted but flourished, evolving into incredible forms. This isn't a story of doom. It's a testament to the raw, defiant power of adaptation. How did they do it? Through astonishing ingenuity and a relentless will to live. Consider the armored Stegosaurus, its thagomizer tail a deadly deterrent, or the Triceratops, a living tank with a formidable frill and horns. These weren't random features. They were millions of years of evolutionary engineering, precision crafted for defense. But survival wasn't just about brute force. It was about intelligence, cunning, and social bonds. Early mammals, small and often overlooked, survived the dinosaur age not by fighting titans, but by being adaptable, nocturnal, and incredibly resourceful. Packs of wolves, or their ancient ancestors, developed sophisticated hunting strategies, working together to bring down prey far larger than themselves. Herds offered safety in numbers, a collective shield against predators, and a shared vigilance against unseen threats. The development of keen senses, camouflage, speed, or even the ability to dig and hide These were all brilliant solutions to the daily dilemmas of a dangerous world. It's an inspiring saga of persistence, where every generation pushed the boundaries of what was possible, ensuring that life, against all odds, would find a way. When you strip away the millions of years, the colossal creatures and the alien landscapes, you find something profoundly familiar in the prehistoric struggle. It's the story of facing overwhelming odds, of confronting the unknown, and of finding the strength to keep going. Every bone discovered, every fossilized footprint whispers a tale of fear and courage, of loss and triumph. They didn't have our technology, our medicine, or our understanding of the world, yet they navigated a landscape far more perilous than anything we know. Their survival wasn't just about escaping a predator. It was about the daily grind of staying alive, about the tiny, consistent decisions that collectively forged a future. It teaches us about the interconnectedness of all things, how climate, food, and competition are all part of a delicate, brutal balance. And most importantly, it highlights the sheer, incredible resilience of life itself. Even when the world burned or froze, even when the biggest creatures fell, life found a foothold, adapted, and stubbornly, gloriously pressed on. Their ancient spirit reminds us that within all of us lies that same primal drive, that same capacity for perseverance. From the silent scourges of disease and famine to the earth-shattering impact of cosmic events, prehistoric life endured a relentless barrage of hidden and obvious dangers. Yet through incredible adaptations, fierce social bonds, and an unwavering will to survive, these ancient beings carved out their existence, leaving behind a legacy of resilience that continues to inspire us today. What part of prehistoric survival fascinates you the most? Did anything in this video change your perspective on ancient life? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. And if you're ready to explore more untold histories and powerful narratives, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Imagine a world where every sunrise promised a fight, not for power or glory, but for the very breath of your children. This is the untold story of our ancient ancestors and the fierce, unbreakable love that forged humanity. We often look back at prehistory through the lens of evolution and survival of the fittest. We picture rugged individuals alone against the wild. But what if the greatest evolutionary leap wasn't about the individual at all? What if it was about something far more profound, the birth of the family, and the ancient, unwavering commitment to protect kin? Today, we're peeling back millions of years of dust and time to uncover the raw, visceral heart of what it truly meant to be a parent, a child, a sibling, in an age defined by teeth and claw. You'll discover why the echoes of their struggle, their love, and their courage still resonate within us all. Picture this: a landscape teeming with danger, vast and unforgiving some 2 million years ago. Our ancestors, early hominids, weren't the apex predators. Far from it. They were often prey, small and vulnerable, especially their young. A newborn hominid, helpless and utterly dependent, was a beacon of fragility in a brutal world. It needed constant protection, constant warmth, constant food. This wasn't just a biological imperative. It was the genesis of a bond so strong it would fundamentally reshape our species. Think about it. A mother, perhaps an Australopithecus, clutching her infant close as the shadows lengthen. Every rustle in the tall grass, every distant roar sent a jolt of terror through her. But with that terror came an equally powerful, undeniable surge of protectiveness. It wasn't a conscious decision, it was a deep, primal instinct. Her life was no longer just her own, it was inextricably tied to this tiny, dependent being. This fierce love wasn't a weakness, it was an evolutionary advantage. It ensured that the next generation carrying forward the genetic code had a fighting chance. It wasn't just mothers either. The entire nascent family unit, small and beleaguered, began to cohere around this shared vulnerability. A father, a grandparent, an older sibling, each played a part. Perhaps it was a male standing guard while the female foraged, or a small group huddling together against the biting cold. They weren't just individuals sharing space. They were an interconnected web of protection, a living shield for their most precious cargo, the future. Their very survival hinged on their ability to trust, to cooperate, to sacrifice for one another. This raw, unfiltered devotion laid the bedrock for everything we now understand as family. Imagine waking up each day with the stark reality that your family's very existence hung by a thread. This wasn't a fleeting thought for our ancestors. It was their constant companion. Food was scarce, predators were ever present, and the elements were merciless. Every decision, from where to find water to which berries were safe to eat, carried the weight of life and death for the entire group. This daily struggle wasn't just about individual strength, it was about collective resilience, fueled by an unwavering commitment to the family. Consider a small band of Homo erectus navigating dense forests or open savannas. The adults, perhaps parents and a few other relatives, would work tirelessly. While some might be tracking game, others would be gathering roots and fruits, always with one eye on the horizon for danger. The children, even the slightly older ones, had vital roles to play, observing, learning, staying close, understanding the subtle cues of their environment. They weren't just passive recipients of care, they were active participants in the family's survival, each contributing what they could to the fragile ecosystem of their kin. Picture a desperate hunt. The coordinated effort, the risks taken, the sheer exhaustion. If successful, that meager kill wasn't just for the hunter, it was for the hungry mouths waiting back at the camp. If unsuccessful, the gnawing hunger would persist, threatening the youngest and weakest first. These weren't acts of charity, they were fundamental expressions of family solidarity. The fierce bond meant that no one was left behind easily. The weak were protected, the injured cared for, because every single member, no matter how small or vulnerable, represented a piece of their collective future. As the millennia rolled on, our ancestors didn't just endure, they adapted, innovated, and evolved. And much of that ingenuity, much of that drive to create, was directly rooted in the primal need to better protect their families. It wasn't simply about making life easier. It was about securing the safety of their loved ones against an increasingly complex and dangerous world. The invention of tools, the mastery of fire, the building of shelters, these were not abstract intellectual exercises. They were urgent, necessary acts of protection. Think of the first crude stone hand axes. Yes, they were for butchering animals or breaking bones for marrow. But imagine the power they gave a desperate father facing down a threat to his children. A sharpened stick became a spear, not just for hunting, but for defense against a lurking saber-toothed cat. The evolution of our brains, our problem-solving capacity, was turbocharged by the intense pressure of keeping our lineage alive. Every new skill, every piece of shared knowledge strengthened the family's shield. And then there was fire. The flickering flames in the dark did more than just cook food and provide warmth. They drew a crucial line in the sand, a fiery barrier against the night's unseen horrors. Imagine the immense comfort and security that fire brought to a family huddled together, knowing that predators, at least for now, were kept at bay. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol of their ability to control their environment, however slightly. These innovations weren't just signs of intelligence, they were profound acts of love, manifestations of a relentless will to protect, to thrive, to give their children a better chance than they themselves had known. This collective effort, this shared understanding of purpose, cemented the family as the ultimate survival unit. Millions of years have passed since those first desperate struggles. The landscapes have changed, the predators are gone, and our shelters are far more elaborate. Yet the deep, resonant echoes of our ancestors' courage, their love, and their willingness to sacrifice still pulse within us. This ancient fight to protect kin isn't just a historical footnote. It's the very foundation of who we are today, the bedrock of our empathy, our bravery, and our profound sense of connection. Consider the ultimate test, a moment of impossible choice. A predator closing in. The only way for the young or the vulnerable to escape is for someone to make a stand, to create a diversion, to offer themselves as a shield. These moments of ultimate sacrifice, though lost to the mists of time, were undoubtedly real. They shaped the very essence of human compassion and selflessness. We carry that legacy, that capacity for profound, self-sacrificing love, in our very DNA. It's why a parent will instinctively put themselves in harm's way for their child. Even today, in a world far removed from the savannas of ancient Africa, their fight wasn't just for survival, it was for continuity. It was for the promise of a future where their lineage, their family, their story would continue. Every smile on a child's face today, every act of nurturing, every moment of familial warmth is a direct testament to the fierce, unyielding love that guided our ancestors through unimaginable hardships. We are here right now because millions of years ago, a family fought. They fought with everything they had, not for glory, but for each other. And in doing so, they etched an indelible blueprint of love and courage into the very fabric of humanity. Their struggle wasn't just ancient history, it was the making of us. We've journeyed back millions of years, not just to look at bones and tools, but to grasp the raw emotional heart of our ancestors. We saw how the sheer vulnerability of early hominid young sparked the first family bonds, transforming individual survival into a collective loving effort. We explored the daily battles against a brutal world, where every action was driven by the imperative to protect kin. We uncovered how intelligence and innovation, from stone tools to fire, were born of a desperate love, a relentless drive to shield their families. And ultimately, we recognize that the echoes of their courage and sacrifice still define our capacity for love and connection today. Their story is our story. What do you think is the strongest protective instinct in a family today? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. If this journey through our ancient past moved you, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into history, and join our community as we uncover the incredible tales that shaped who we are.